Hello again, everybody. Josh Hoover here with BTR, and back again, getting the band back together. My teammates and friends, Kelli, Lemieux, Hayes, Stevens, and Corrina Nation. We wanted to come back to you. We've heard a lot of different conversations over the last couple of weeks where employers have had to react to situations because of the work from home, COVID-19. There's a lot of different things that people have had to react to, and we wanted to just share some of those top things that we've heard. And maybe give you some ideas on how to maybe be proactive if should something like this ever happen again. So, Corrina, what is the first thing that you're seeing that employers have had to react to?
Honestly, it's surprisingly, it's the need for BIN admin for some of these benefits administration platforms for some of these smaller groups. I think that the small group model has traditionally been very paper-based and person-to-person based. I just talked to a broker yesterday who, they have 60 plus small groups and they're not using technology, but they still have to renew and they still have to get that benefits information out to people. And they're not sure how they're going to tackle that. That's a big issue. And a lot of these groups who maybe have pushed back on BIN admin over the years, just because they're too small or maybe there's a cost or something like that, they're in a pinch right now. And we've seen a big uptick in, hey, I need help with this BIN admin. I need something that we can go ahead and put into place. And I'm sure you guys have been hearing that too. I wasn't expecting that, that's for sure. But that smaller group seems to be the most affected because, the majority of the time, these larger groups, maybe over 100 employees, already have something in place.
Mm-hmm. So one other question along those lines that we've been asked, and Hayes, I'll punt this question to you, is as an entirely remote organization, how do we handle that open enrollment process at BTR? So Hayes, you want to share that?
Yeah, being a totally remote, this is where, especially in situations like this, when workforce has moved to more of a remote culture, having that access where you would typically walk into your HR admin's office to make that life event change or any of that kind of those changes, having a cloud-based solution really does help allow the employee to have the autonomy and the ability to make those changes on their own. It also removes the liability from a manager, admin, anybody else touching that information and putting into the system.
No. And from an OE perspective, I mean, we do our OE meetings online, and then everybody goes through that enrollment process. So that's what we've been doing for years. So Kelli, I want to throw it over to you. So what is one of the big trends that you're seeing employers have to react to now?
Well, what we're seeing is a call for some more agile products. In fact, we've been hearing more and more about a product that's been around for a while, and that's telemedicine. And honestly, we've kind of been surprised as consumers over the last few years to see that it's been slow to adopt. This is an incredibly rich feature that is just such a tremendous benefit, and we're especially seeing that now that walk-in availability of your healthcare provider is limited. Telemedicine or teledoc is a feature that can be used remotely. And it's not just a description of symptoms. You can actually interact with a provider over a webcam interface just like this, or even with sending pictures. If you have a rash, you can take a picture of your symptoms and send it to that provider. And in fact, that provider is an MD. No offense to our nurse friends and other healthcare workers, but, on the other end is an MD. And frankly, this offers remote work options for them and allows them to be a little bit more mobile, yet still provide the level of care that you need really, really
and
quickly.
Safe. And be safe with everything that's going on now.
Absolutely.
I thought
Corrina, you and I have talked. Go ahead. I think we're going the same direction.
We talked to a few of these. There's a lot of different terms out there, but health advocacy applications or healthcare navigation applications. And they've said that their teledoc utilization is through the roof this week. I mean, usually a good utilization for a group is probably around 30%. They're seeing upwards of 60% utilization of teledoc, which is huge, especially since a lot of those technologies offer it to the whole family. So it's not just, the person who's on the medical plan, for example. So, and they've also been rolling out some of these new programs, like a lot of these vendors have, like, we'll get you up and running in 48 hours so you can roll out teledoc to your people, kind of like advocacy light, where it's just focused on that. So that's been really interesting to see, especially since that's an area that we are really interested in and have seen explode over the last 2 years. But to Kelly's point, it's turned around. They're just taking it to the next level.
Yeah. And one thing that I love about these, go ahead, Hayes.
I was just going to say, that's something we've talked about for the last couple of years, seeing a trend in these benefit navigation and communication tools and, layering that on top of your HR technology. So, knowing that that's a trend and then having something like our current situation happen and seeing that uptick is just showing how valuable that is to the employee during times like this, but even more valuable for you to be able to lay on your couch at night and on your own time, in your own space, be able to navigate your benefits through technology.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and from a proactive standpoint, beyond, once we get through all of this, these health advocacy tools just make us better consumers of healthcare. One of the big problems we see is going to the ER instead of when urgent care would be fine. And so it's just helping drive more consumerism, which I think is a good idea.
Yeah,
so, Hayes,
agreed.
What about you? What is one of the big things that you're seeing everybody have to react to?
I think the biggest, a big concern we're getting, within our respective broker partners and clients, just asking about the disaster response with HR technology. Really thinking about, like, this is what's making cloud-based solutions so incredible, is that flexibility within the solution. Really, it should be seamless if it's a cloud-based solution. And calling and partnering with your payroll provider, benefits provider, reaching out to them and truly partnering with them and finding a solution that works for you in this new global concern is what we would be advising our clients to do. Again, that cloud-based solution, your employees can be anywhere, anytime, and making those changes within the solution. Admins can be checking hours, web clocks. I mean, this is really where the strength of, what we do every day and what we preach to our clients really is showing value.
Yeah, that's a big one. And all those vendors have a disaster recovery plan in place. We've even seen some of them that are in like the Gulf Mexico area, where were hit by a hurricane. And so they have those plans in place. They've unfortunately had to use them in the past. So this is not anything too terribly new and unusual for them. So with that, just a couple little things for you to think about that we're seeing people have to react to. Hopefully something else comes up, you'll be able to be more proactive and be on top or in front of things as they happen. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, but just in case. So thank you for joining us today. If you have questions about anything that we've covered, shoot us a note, comment, share the video. We love the engagement and interaction. And back to what Kelli said on our first one, consider us your phone a friend. Call us if you have questions. We'd be happy to chat. Or if you're just bored and feel stranded at home by yourself, we'll be happy to connect. So with that, thank you very much, everybody. We appreciate your time today and look forward to talking and speaking soon. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.